Hello, it is Stragabella here, and I am bored to death taking a walk because I have no headphones to speak of, and my daughter's taking a nap after a long day at the mall shopping. So I am in my yard deciding which way to go. I just frightened a little animal of some sort. I'm not sure if it was a possum, a raccoon, or what, but it was pretty big. And I can't see where it went to figure out what it was. But there's lots and lots of coyotes in the area. And it is getting dark, and it is getting colder. So, I don't know. I was gonna bring my dog with me, but he tends to kind of be a buzzkill when it comes to me wanting to find animals and things like that at night. But I have a haul to do, a haul video hopefully, if my children will ever just not be asleep or needing quiet time forever. Our apartment's really small space, so the noise factors in greatly, so everybody can pretty much hear everything all the time, and there's no privacy whatsoever. So I wanted to do a haul video. I bought some stuff for the first time in over 3 years since I've been living here. I have pretty much lived on the few items that we brought with us in the move, which was basically just essentials, clothes, of which a lot of them have been thrown away since then, because when you only have a few things to wear and wash 100,000 times over again, that kind of can get really overkill and need to get thrown away. So today I splurged and bought some high-heeled black Timberland boots for the fall and winter. They're very witchy, very cool. I went to a small shop downtown in my town, and that was yesterday by myself. And I got a sort of I don't know, I guess you'd call it a cardigan, but it's long and witchy, and it's got that ripped look, and it has satin ties that you can adjust the length and make it tighter and less tight. Now look at the moon behind me. Let's see if you can see it there. In the sky is the beautiful full moon. It doesn't look as big when I have it behind me, but there it is in the sky over the lake where I'm headed now. So I'm walking to the lake. I have my little backpack in case I decide to stop anywhere that's opened. I don't have my EBT card, so I won't be stopping for food or drinks. I have water with me, and we got lunch at the mall. Chick-fil-A was where my daughter wanted to go, but the line was so long. It was unbelievable. The whole food court was basically in line for Chick-fil-A. So we got Chinese food, and I had white rice and vegetables pretty much, but I hardly ate any of it because it wasn't as good as it seemed in the beginning. What else? Let's see, we went to Victoria's Secret. I got new bras and underwear for the first time, if that's TMI for some of my viewers. Sorry, but I think most of my viewer stats is women between the ages of 30 and 50, so you guys can appreciate the need to buy some new, better fitting, better looking bras and panties and stuff like that. What else? I got fall clogs that are super cute with fuzzy insides. Very comfortable to walk around in. The train is coming, so I can't really walk across the street right now, so I'm going down a side street where it'll be less loud. So yeah, I live right by the train tracks, as you can hear. the commuter rail. It goes right to North Station in Boston. For those of you who have visited the city of Boston, North Station is one of the two main train stations where everything kind of, all the buses and trains and everything kind of converge there. There's South Station and North Station, and the North Station commuter rail line that goes from Haverhill to North Station is the one that runs through my town, right behind my bedroom, all night long, because the commuter rail, although it doesn't run all night, the freight trains come through. So I am going down one of the streets I told you guys I would share in a video. So this whole area has been thousands of years inhabited. Before it was a town called Wakefield. I don't know if I should have even told you the name of the town. Probably not. Maybe I'll delete it. I don't know. But it's like, let's see, Salem, Mass is about 20 minutes drive north of me, and so my town is very small, but it's just outside of Boston. It's like a 10-minute ride on the train to get to Boston, 10-15-minute drive without traffic. So didn't become named Wakefield until the end of the 1800s, when they officially purchased it from Native Americans for, I think, approximately $700 of silver. And this was after the King Philip's War, when there was some conflict between the settlers and the natives. I guess some underhanded, lying and conniving type things happened, where they were getting along initially, and then something went awry. I don't know all the details of it, but I think the same thing kind of had its effect here. But this was one of the few places in America that the natives did have officially ownership, deedship of this area and the property of what now constitutes the town that I live in. And it used to be including a bunch of the surrounding areas like Lynn, Reading, Stoneham, Linfield, Saugus area. Those were like kind of all just one big settled area. And the school that schooled all the children for the people who lived in the area, it's still there. It just actually, it had been used as a school for hundreds of years, until recently, when they had to finally close it due to the roof being unsafe. But that was just like a year or two ago, right before COVID happened. So pretty interesting. And I have lived here all my life. My grandparents bought a house on the same street where I was raised. So we had a house on that street, 6 houses down. And then I had a farmhouse a little bit further down. Look at the moon behind me now. Let's see. There it is. Very pretty. So, and I went to school, small little Christian schools in the area. One little small school is here, and it was here during the World War I and World War II, so they still have the bomb shelter signs and everything on there. And I remember seeing that and hearing about, back in the day they used to gather into the basement area for the bomb drills back in the day. And a lot of the local people here who are older have attended that school. I've met lots of people who graduated in various years, the 50s, 40s, 60s, and so forth. I went there in the 80s mostly. So there's a long history. There's a lot of people who've lived multiple generations around here, who've stayed in the same family homes. A lot of them are really old. My house I lived in before this, as you guys saw, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, I used to show my old farmhouse and it was built in 1864, so you guys probably remember that from over a decade of that house. Unfortunately, I didn't think to ask the town about getting a historic status, because I could have done that. It was one of the oldest homes. It was there before there was a gas line or a sewer line or any of that kind of stuff, before there were street lights. And yeah, it had a well in the back that I believe is still undocumented and not closed up, which I think was probably some of the reason for the spiritual activity that happened while I lived there. Some of you guys heard about the little ghost child who got in bed with me one night, and I scared the bejesus out of him, screaming my head off, unfortunately, because I was waking out of a total sleep and I thought it was my own child. But I remembered that the kids were off sleeping over somewhere else, and so it caught me off guard. I would have reacted much nicer had I been awake and thought about it. Because, you know, they say when children die suddenly, unexpectedly, they don't really understand what's happened and why they are unable to kind of communicate with the world of the living, except the few people who can interact. So, oh my gosh, the moon is just so beautiful. It's just such a gorgeous fall evening. Anyway, so yeah, there's a street about a block away that every time I walk along on that street, I have noticed that there's a burial mound, which appears to be very, very, very old, very, very big, compared to the ones that I've seen. I used to study under a Native American man in Florida on Cypress Island, Lake Okeechobee. It's in the Everglades, for those of you who don't know. And those were some of the longest natives who held out and did not give themselves up to go to reservations or anything. I believe they were the Seminoles. And there's an entire island that to this day they have kept just isolated and no one goes near it. People have tried, and apparently there's so many bodies. It's like a underwater grave site with all, like, just so many bodies under there, and apparently they're put there for a reason, and there's some kind of just bad curse or something that keeps people from having any kind of positive experiences when they've tried to inhabit or do anything business-wise on that island. But it's a twin island to the one that I worked on, which was Cypress Island. And there's a documentary here on YouTube if any of you guys are interested. I worked there the year before it went under. They were trying to build timeshares at one point, and but then the hurricanes came and kind of wrecked it. So, and so since I've moved back here, I was away from my town for like 4 years. I've been finding all kinds of artifacts, Native American stuff. I think it's because of the lack of landscape and changes in people's activity in the area. Hi, puppies. Hi. So the change and all that seems to like be causing the gravel or the erosion to happen, and I've been finding all kinds of stuff that's been uncovered. I've been collecting it, but I have such a huge collection now that I'm not sure how to catalog it all. It's just so much, it's overwhelming. But they are now finally incorporating Native American culture into the education system in our town. Because last year they were saying that our Wakefield Warrior logo was somehow racist or unethical or something like that. But half the town was for getting rid of it, half the town, like me, was into preserving it, because our whole town is what it is and came from the history of the Native Americans who had already built the whole community and town including our reservoir, which was their holy sacred water. I don't believe they did any violent, like fishing, nothing like that. They would go there for prayer, for sacred type things, and the water was so pure that when the settlers tasted it, they started using it as the drinking water, and to this day it's the reservoir. But that would be a great tour video, because I've seen things that, wow, just like, it's like walking into like an Irish fairy dwelling place. And I'm not sure if it's just because I was permitted to see some of what I saw, because I was respectful and I left seeds and I planted some things. Every time I go there, I try to do that. Leave something and not do anything to disturb or be disrespectful of the place, because it's so beautiful. It's actually about a block ahead of me. I'm not sure where I'm walking to now. I'm just kind of wandering around. But yeah, the town's small enough that you could walk around the whole town in a couple hours. 7-Eleven's here, but I did not bring my ABT card, so I will not be going to get anything unless I want to pay for it out of pocket. But they do have some really good mini tacos, which are amazing. Maybe I will go get some mini tacos, but maybe not, because I don't want to be a big fatso since I went shopping and bought sexy bras and underwear, so that's not a good idea. So I will keep walking instead. Better idea. So anyway, sorry this is not a planned video. I just I had wanted to do the haul video, but my daughter was taking a nap now because she was really upset she didn't find an outfit. We're going to see Harry Styles concert on Monday the 25th, and we booked an Airbnb, a studio apartment in the center of Boston, right in front of the Boston Common, and it should be really great. It's a little bit like more dangerous at night than I remember when I went to school there and everything. What the hell? I literally thought that there was a gun under that cushion. My town used to be like the safest place on earth, where you could just leave your doors unlocked. I still kind of do, but it's not that safe as it used to be. So anyway, this is the block right here where I went to school from 1st grade to 7th grade, where I held hands with my first boyfriend ever, Mark McDonough. I was in 7th grade, he was in 8th grade, and we used to go to the Olive Garden, which is no longer there, but we used to hold hands, and we used to go have pizza and take walks and stuff. Go to the school dances at the church right at the end of the block down there. So romantic. But the nuns used to like make nasty faces and say, "We know about you and Mark." Yeah, so does the whole school. We walk by everybody on the way to the Olive Garden holding hands. Yeah, not a big deal. So yeah, and actually we're still together because he never broke up with me officially. He just went to high school, and apparently the girls in high school put out by that point, so I was just practice for the big high school girl thing. But he went to an all-boys school, so I don't know. I don't know how that worked out for him, but hey, we're still together officially. So me and Mark forever, still going strong. Anyhow, here's the school that I went to. This is the Catholic school where I went to school all those lovely years. Those are actually very fond memories. Happy times. We used to dance around the statue in May. It's kind of like a totally pagan thing. We used to decorate the statue of Mary and like have ribbons and roses and all that kind of stuff and dance around. It's like the maypole, except we did it around the statue of Mary. A lot of things like that. Sort of, they cross that line between being pagan and being Christian. They sort of just borrowed from one another. And I think I'm gonna go to take you to the playground, my favorite playground, because it has those really swings where you can go really high. And I used to swing really high and then jump off. And one day, oh man, some like fat kid followed me and jumped off too, and he got really hurt because, you know, I went sailing high into the air and landed on my feet, and he did not. But he was okay in the end. Yeah, we ended up being really good friends later after that incident. And this beautiful, lovely house with the picket fence here is sadly overgrown, and I don't think anybody's living here right now. I don't think you guys can see the details, but there's beautiful maple trees and some I don't know what kind of tree that one is, but it's some kind of fruit tree, I think, and it's all flowering, beautiful. And I don't know if I should dare, but I think I will dare to go to the playground at night. Thank you. I wanted to rent the house right on the outside of the entrance to the playground, but sadly it didn't happen. When I was moving, I didn't have any established proof of income yet. I hadn't had an order yet for child support or anything, so it was hard to get a place in this town, so I'm just grateful that we did. So I guess this is just going to be mostly a vlog for now, because I really didn't organize my plan of what I was going to talk about. Just thought I'd give you guys a tour of my town a little bit, walk you around, get you out from just sitting stationary and talking, and tell you a little bit about that haunted area of the street. I know something just fell. What is this? Oh, my clip for my backpack. My backpack's falling apart. What else? Oh yeah, so this huge mound is obviously a very sacred one, but there's a wealthy side of town. So I believe the cousin of Hawthorne, the writer Nathaniel Hawthorne, his cousin Elizabeth, was one of the main people who founded a lot of the women's suffrage groups and things around here. And they made this west side part of the town where we're going towards. And there's a huge stone entrance to that part of town, but it's built on top of what was very sacred burial mounds and stone structures that appear. I've seen videos on this saying that before even the natives were here, that possibly the Vikings had been to America and had built some mounds and stone structures and forts. A lot of them in New England, but they're all over. They've been found all over America. And so I've found evidence here of some. One is that huge stone, it's like a huge stone natural structure, but with carvings in it, like in the face. And it looks like so long ago it was done. And there are burials that were done near it and on it. Apparently they put it there because of the site being so significant and old. And then recently I walked the lake, and we were exploring deep into the oldest parts of one of the cemeteries. It goes back to like the 1600s, I think, are the oldest. And we went to the part where it looks like fairies built all the paths. You're not allowed to drive on those parts, but there's roads on the rest of the cemetery. And in those old non-drivable areas, underneath it appears like there had been some kind of enormous castle, like stone building or fortress of some sort, humongous. It seems like the stones go under, the grass has grown over them, the graves are all on top, like it had been there way, way, way long ago, before the natives. And then after that, the natives also used the area. The oldest trees have what appear to be little prayer stones that they would put in the roots of the trees, and so they would be carried up and down. So it went to the underworld, and the prayers would go up to the heavens and be carried to be answered. Very lovely. And when the trees uproot, you can find all the stones from all the long, long hundreds of years of people leaving their prayers and offerings there. And so, but even underneath that are these enormous, what look like stone steps. And as I noticed that, I've been walking around town and looking around at the oldest parts of the downtown area, which you can see these huge granite platforms that our main buildings are all built on top of, like the post office and the library, and even the curbs of the roads. They're all massive granite, huge stone slabs of granite, like the stuff that you see all over the world. And people say, who built these? How did they move them? How could they get here? And all that kind of stuff. And now here we are at the playground. It's very different. They tore down all the cool stuff, like the merry-go-round and everything. And I don't have any weapons on me tonight, which is unfortunate, because usually I do. You gotta be safe. Better safe than sorry. But I think I'm gonna have me a swing on the swing set for now. But on the road where this massive structure is, and homes and things built on top of it, I have discovered that there is a waterfall that comes out from a crack in one of these huge natural stone structures. And it was, at one point, the water would come down the hill and into my very yard, through the little grassy area and into this like deep little spot where mushrooms grow out of. It's like a little fairy kingdom. It's very interesting. So I will have to show you that in the daylight. And now I'm swinging on the big swings that used to go really high, and hopefully I will go really, really high shortly. There's definitely a bunch of animals or something or somebody here. Not sure if I'm gonna get the bejesus scared out of me or what, but we'll see. I'm probably not even allowed to be here at night, but I am just a lawbreaker, I guess. And so, anyway, so look forward to my haul video. I'm going to tell you more about the haunted area near the waterfall and the big rock structure, because every time I go by there, I get this feeling overcomes me, and I start just feeling horrible mourning, like sadness, the likes of which is just, it overcomes me every time I get to this one spot. None of the streetlights remain. They all burn out. And when I've used my harmonica just walking around at night, I notice when I get there, the music notes, most of the notes will not play. So there's definitely something going on there. Maybe something electromagnetic, a memory of something really horrific that happened at that spot that has changed the energy of the place. But I love discovering, because it's usually a scientific thing to do with magic that we just have not quite put our finger on yet. Like the equipment now used for ghost hunting, a lot of it is very advanced, and to the point where you can actually see the physical forms of the ghosts that inhabit these places. It's really, really quite spectacular. It shows that it's not just people's imagination. There's something real, something measurable going on. So it's very interesting. And I do know that our blood contains elements of metals, which would definitely affect things like electromagnetic measurings and energy. If lots of blood was spilled in a particular place, it will affect all the energies around it. You know, energies are attracted positive to, you know, we learn all that stuff in science. Protons and neutrons and electrons and all that stuff, positive and negative charges. It's just how it works, how it happens. And so it's not just in our imaginations. We just maybe haven't quite developed the full science and written it in a scientific book yet, officially anyway. But there's lots of people making huge headway into the paranormal. One of my favorite channels is Paranormal Files. If you guys don't watch it, Colin is amazing, and he does such a great job with his family. His whole family is involved in his pursuit to find the truth, and that's kind of my thing, is I just want to know the truth so I can know as much as possible and be as wise as I can in this life. I've always wanted to leave the world a little bit more, a little better than when I arrived here, you know. So blessed be, have a great night, and I will enjoy my mega high swinging once I turn this off. Blessed be, bye.